Hey, what's up, Carmination? It's been a while, but this is our weekly, trying to keep it going weekly now, our weekly Jock Market plays for the NFL main slate, which this typically is recorded on Saturday because the IPOs don't even open up, or the market doesn't even open up until Sunday. Now, speaking of that, they did make a change specifically starting this week. So if you've been playing NFL main slates up until this point, this Sunday, aka tomorrow, depending on when you're watching this, the lock for the main slate is now 12:30 p.m. Eastern time. There's a lot of feedback they got, and myself also asking them to push it up because it just didn't make sense to have a full hour, even though TRex here is not a huge fan of the change.
No,
That's what he's saying.
no.
That was he's saying earlier. But 12:30 p.m. Before that, it was 12 p.m. So now it's 30 minutes before the game starts instead of a full hour. TRex, why did you not like that again?
Uncertainty is value. Like when there's uncertainty for an hour beforehand, that creates value. And if you get a COVID late, you usually get the refund. But no, I don't like that at all.
All right, well, to each their own. But anyway, we got Bales, we got TRex here, and if you're like, why is this man's first name TRex? I mean, you already know the story if you've seen any of our other Jock Market podcasts we've done. He wins so much money, he doesn't want his friends and relatives to know about it. So he goes by TRex, and he doesn't show his face. He's very mysterious. So what we have pulled up here on the screen right now is one of our newest tools. It's probably the best tool, and I will die on that hill, the best Jock Market tool in the industry right now, because you have historical data for every single sport that Jock Market offers. You have NFL, NBA, PGA is part of this as well, and MLB when that season comes back again. So how it works in a nutshell, let me just switch the view here real quick so I can pull it up. So how it works is it has all of the markets historically, so past markets for any sport, for any type of market. So right now what I have highlighted here, you see there's 3 different markets. I chose the NFL Sunday main market. So you don't mix single game or showdown markets or just 2-game markets with main markets because the IPOs are a whole lot different. You'll get an IPO of the highest projected guy can be somewhere between 12, 13, 14, 15, maybe even $16 I've seen before. But in the main market, when you have all of those players, it never gets that high. So you're mixing data that just won't work out. So make sure you're selecting the same type of data. And so for this example, I selected the last 3 Sunday NFL main market slates, which was the 26th, the 19th, and the 12th. And so what this does here is it averages out all of the data from those 3 main Sunday markets. Those are the full slates. So it'll take the average IPO price for all the players across those 3 that I selected, the average final payout, which then shows the average profit and the average ROI. So the last 3 slates, Gabe Davis here, Go Knights, is the top ROI producing player of the last 3 slates. And you don't necessarily have to choose 2 or 3. If you just want to look back to the last one, you can do that as well. But this tool it's the nuts because it helps you determine if someone's, if you're looking at someone for a future slate, just go here, see what they've done recently, look at the recency bias on what the market has predicted or the market has said they're going to cost, and you can kind of figure out what your max IPO price is going to be and what you want to target them at. But yeah, so on top of having this tool here, we'll get into the plays here in a second. We also have many, many other features that have been added since our last podcast, which I don't know, a month, 2 months ago. We've had some scheduling issues, but we're here, and that's what matters. But since our last one, we have this tool here, which you can find for free. This is free to access. Go to dfskarma.com and go to the Jock Market option on the drop-down menu on our main menu. This one here is called Jock Market Historical Data. You can also click to the Max Market Metrics, which this is not updated for tomorrow. They always get updated closer to lock, but I'll pull that up to show you what it looks like here. So what we have is we have the projected fantasy score, which is the score that is projected inside of the Jock Market app. We have the projected payout based on what the Jock Market app is saying the projections are. And then this Karma Max IPO to the far right, that's Bales's the highest possible amount that Bales would bid on to have this shares of this particular player. Of course, it's not updated right now as of this recording, but if you're checking this Sunday morning, it will have the updated data. So it's just kind of an extra tool for you guys to better understand kind of what we're looking at and make sure that you're not, necessarily overbidding on someone or paying too much for it. It's definitely a helpful tool to to get your feet wet if you're playing for the first time. And then, of course, we have 2 other options on this drop-down menu, how to play on Jock Market. If you're watching this and you're like, what the heck is Jock Market? Never heard of it before. And this podcast itself is not doing enough service for you to help explain how it works. It's very easy. Just click on this, and there's a ton of just basic 101 information. And then, of course, if you want to see Bales' plays across NFL or his write-ups across NBA as well, just click on Jock Market Plays. You'll see all of his NFL articles, all of his NBA articles here as well. And he, as you see, he writes them quite often. So make sure you check that out as well. But that being said, let's get to the chit chat. Bales, how you been, man? Happy New Year, buddy.
Yeah, Happy New Year. I'm good, feeling good from last night. Didn't get too crazy. I know some people like to is it ring in the new year? Ring?
Yeah.
Ring. I think it's ring. Sounds about
See,
right.
I don't even actually know what that means. Bring makes more sense to me.
Well, it's like a bell, right? Like you're literally like ringing. Yeah.
Oh, you're supposed to have a bell at New Year's?
No, it's
like
not
the ball that drops and it dings. Yeah, it's ringing in the new year.
It's a traditional. We don't do it anymore. Nobody does it anymore. But it's like a ringing the bell, like ding, it's the new year. I don't know. It's like just keep talking. But yes,
I do know that they drop, instead of a ball, near where I live, they drop a pickle down. So found that out last night. So I mean,
wait.
People must be moving to your town. Yeah.
Wait.
Yes.
So paint me a picture of how this works. There's an individual who holds a pickle, and he holds it up, and then he literally drops a pickle.
No. Like, in Times Square, you have the ball hanging here, and
so it's a huge,
very large pickle.
Okay, so it's a huge like pickle sign. It's not actually a pickle. Or is it a pickle?
No, not a real pickle. No, it's vertical.
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 Off kilter.
It seems like it's like 2 feet long. I don't actually know. I wasn't there.
And it goes down slow as like the ball in yours. Yeah. It's the same thing. It's
like
just instead of the ball, it's a literal pickle.
That is a legit pickle just coming on down.
We're gonna have to like find a clip of that on YouTube and insert it into this podcast somehow. I'll see if I can make that work. All right, so we have a pickle drop. We're ringing in the new year, even though nobody has any bells. But yes. So on top of all of the stuff I just mentioned on the tools and Bales' articles that he writes as well, what we typically do here, if you haven't tuned into the previous ones, is we go through their favorite plays, as well as any kind of strategy they want to throw in there as well, besides the strategy that we already teach you through those tools on the website. Bales, for tomorrow, which player do you like the most?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Jaylen Waddle. There's actually like 5 that I was really considering. But Jaylen Waddle kind of sticks out the most. If you just kind of look at his role in Miami, consistently growing, he now has double-digit targets in 3 straight, very clearly to his top option. And it seems obvious that they want to just get the ball in his hands and let him be a playmaker. Matchup against Tennessee is about as good as it gets, honestly. If you look at the Titans, they've allowed the 8th most air yak on the entire season. They've struggled with both air yards and yards after the catch. Now, Jaylen Waddle isn't this dominant air yards type receiver or anything. His ADOT last week was 5.9. It's actually really, really low. But with that said, 5.7 yards after the catch per reception on 10 catches last week. So basically an electric player with the ball in his hands. He does have the ability to go deep, obviously just elite speed in that, but they're going to get him the ball relatively on easy catches, I guess is the best way to put that. So should have his catches, nearing the double digits for the 3rd, 4th consecutive week. And I feel like he's the type of player that really can break one deep against the Titans. And it's not like you're going to have to spend up, for the price tag of someone like Cooper Kupp or anything to get Jaylen Waddle, even though he is, having extreme volume and is very efficient with the ball in his hands.
If he's not already at the top, which to me personally, he is, but if he's not to you at the top, what does he have to do in these last 2 games to win Offensive Rookie of the Year?
I mean,
or is he too far away to you for it's impossible, even if he has monster games?
I would doubt that he's going to win it. He would need some massive games. I mean, Jamar Chase has looked otherworldly. I don't think that the two are really all that close. I know that Waddle is statistically near him. I think he's below him in most categories. Probably has more catches, but Chase has more yards. I believe they're very similar in touchdowns, which is actually kind of surprising because it just feels like Chase is blowing everyone away. I don't know, 2 big games where he posts well over 100 and a touchdown, maybe probably 2 touchdowns in one of them. I think he kind of shifts himself into the conversation. But to me, it just kind of feels like Jamar Chase is going to win Rookie of the Year, and he would like really have to mess up over the last 2 weeks to not take that. Or Mac Jones, I guess. A lot of people like Mac Jones. I think that's a bad pick. It's got to be Jamar.
Nobody
Chase
likes Mac Jones. Nobody likes that guy.
Quarterbacks always win over other players.
It's so dumb.
It is dumb.
All right, T-Rex, before you tell everyone your favorite play, what do you think about Waddle?
I like Waddle. I've had him a couple of weeks now where he's done really well. I mean, I've always said I think wide receivers have the highest upside of any category of player in large main slates, just because it takes one 60-yard catch for a touchdown and you just rocket up the leaderboard. So I always love wide receivers. I especially love cheap wide receivers on teams that tend to go overlooked. So no, I have no problem with that. I'm sure I'll have plenty of shares of Waddle.
And then just continuing on with that, you said you're just talking about matchup-based decision-making. I know that's something that you're focusing on, well, not just tomorrow, but also on a daily basis or a weekly basis. What are the particular matchups you're looking at and the players within them?
Yeah, I like. I mean, obviously, you want games where there's going to be high scoring, or certainly if you want to play kind of the contrast of teams that get up and are going to run versus teams that are trying to catch back up. I love the LA and Baltimore game. Really like Dallas, Arizona. I think there's lots of scoring there. My plays this week, I mean, I have been riding Sony Michel for a couple of weeks now. There's nothing that's going to convince me to get off that train. I don't care if it's Henderson or Cam Akers or some other scrub that they're going to activate. I just think he's far and away the best running back on that team. I think they're going to get up, and I think they're just going to feed Sony Michel the ball, which I think is going to generate a lot of action. I mean, my hot take this week is I think this is the week that Cooper Kupp doesn't do anything. And by that, I mean he's going to catch, 8 balls for 80 yards.
Just an average amazing game, not a super amazing game.
I mean, he didn't score last week, and that was like the first time in, a month and a half. But he's become almost a cheat code in jock market. And so, I mean, you were talking about how in a main slate, people tend to not go that high. I think that's generally true unless Cooper Kupp's involved. I mean, Cooper Kupp could go for $12 or $13 tomorrow, and I wouldn't be surprised. I will be on that. But I like Michelle to grind that game out. I like, pass catchers on the flip side, especially Mark Andrews. And then I would say my super hot take, and this is probably me because I have him in a dynasty league, is I'm probably going full in on Trey Lance. I mean, I might pair him with Debo, just kind of basically catch any of the run or action that is going to be involved in that game. But, anytime you get those cheap quarterbacks that haven't proven themselves and nobody knows about, they can be just dirt cheap on a main slate. And, all they have to do is kind of turn in an average game and there's still value there.
Now, are you saying you're full fading Kupp, or you're just going extremely low owned or minimal shares on Kupp?
Yeah, probably minimal. I mean, I act tough and I'll say that I'm gonna full fade it, but then it's like you just
and then he has a screenshot of I have 600 shares. Go me!
Yeah,
first.
It's just one of those because you have to, if you're gonna make serious money in a main slate or in a main slate, but certainly in a single game or a 2 game, you have to have the guy that finishes first. Yeah. I mean, I was playing NBA last night and didn't get a guy that finished first, and it's just devastating because that's where all the cash is. So, I mean, if he's decently cheap, I'll probably get some, but I mean, if he gets into the 12 to 14 range, I just don't know if I'm going to be able to take that because, I mean, it's a cheat code, but man, the loss, all it takes is him to, come up just a little bit lame and they go, no, we're done with this for the season because we need you for playoffs. And that is a risk that really starts to get kind of palpable as you get closer to the end of the regular season.
And that's a huge other strategy point as well that we of course we haven't addressed because we've never been as late into the season with our podcast, but that's something else where that stuff is going to be happening tomorrow. There is going to be people who are suiting up, and then you're like, oh yeah, they're playing, so I'm gonna get shares of them, and then one, like maybe their ankle just looks doesn't necessarily get sprained or nothing bad happens to it, but this coach just sees him playing his foot the wrong way, and he's like, you know what, we're taking you out. We're already guaranteed, the division title, or whatever. We're not playing for anything. So, is there anything? I know this is the first season we've experienced with 18 weeks, and this is only week 17, so we have 2 more games. But is there, if we're just doing I'm going to call it a bold call or a hot take, but is there anybody who comes to mind that is suiting up and playing tomorrow that you are maybe avoiding because of that? Is Cup that play, or are there other people you're like, you know what, I'm not touching them because they're already locked up a playoff spot, they have no chance of getting the bye, so I don't think I'm going to touch this player because he may be getting minimal action because of that end of the season scenario? It's a really long explanation for what I'm trying to ask here, but do either of you have any 2 cents on that?
I mean, I think Zeke is my one that I would think. I thought that last week, and that didn't work out because he did pretty well. But I mean, Zeke is a guy that if he gets tackled the wrong way and just kind of seems weird, that I could see them saying, we're just running with Pollard for the rest of the deal because we don't want to waste that. That's really the only one that comes to mind off the top of my head.
Anything, Bales, you got on that?
No, honestly. So the weird thing about the NFL this year is literally everyone outside of the teams eliminated are still playing for something. Like there's nothing that's not going on at the moment. I completely agree with TRex that Zeke is the type of player that if something weird happens, they'll pull him. But I don't necessarily think that's because they think they have anything locked up, because as far as I'm aware, if Green Bay goes 1-1 and Dallas wins out, which they very well could, Green Bay going 1-1 seems much less likely since they play Detroit next week and obviously Minnesota without Kirk Cousins on Sunday night. But if for some reason they go 1-1 and Dallas does win out, I believe Dallas has the 1 seed then.
I think that's right.
So I think that they'll pull Zeke, but I think that they'll pull Zeke because they feel comfortable with Pollard. And, a lot of people at this point think that Pollard is better than Zeke anyway. So they're not really losing anything if they just kind of want to rest him. So I think it's more situationally where like it's been the entire season where, they feel comfortable with Pollard versus they feel comfortable where they're at in the playoffs and they'll pull Zeke for that reason. I think it's more of, yes, he can get pulled. I just don't think that the playoffs are the reason he will get pulled.
Yeah, it makes sense. So that's how these podcasts go. They're short and sweet. We talk about a lot of strategy, like we're just saying right now, like how we're gonna, if there's anything for week 17 that we need to look out for. That's why we just talked about Zeke and then also Cup earlier. But on top of the free tools that I just showed you, which you can access for free by going to dfskarma.com. Whether you're on desktop or mobile, there's Jock Market in the drop-down menu on the sidebar. Click on that. Click on the tools. Click on how to play. The links to download the app are also in there as well. You go to jockmarket.online. Use promo code KARMA. Get you a free $50 deposit bonus. But on top of that, myself, Bales, TRex, we are all in the free DFS Karma chat room hosted on our Discord server. Just go to dfskarma.com/chat. dfskarma.com/chat. It's that link itself is the automatic invite, and then you can jump in our NFL Jock Market channel, our NBA Jock Market channel, or any other sports that we've added for Jock Market in there as well, and that's free, just back and forth. If you have, what do you think about this guy at this price, anything like that, back and forth, we're more than happy to give our 2 cents. But I do appreciate TRex and Bales joining us here. If you have any questions, you can comment them on this YouTube video or inside of the chat room. But good luck tomorrow, everybody. And hopefully Waddle has 35 catches tomorrow, 335 yards, and 6 touchdowns. That's going to be my guess.
Can I lay odds on that?
No. But Dolphins are going to the playoffs. If anyone wants to bet on me, bet against me on that. I consider that, maybe. But it depends on the price. All right. I'll see you guys next week. Good luck to tomorrow.